You pick up your phone. You don't remember deciding to. There was no thought first, no reason, just your hand moving and your thumb unlocking the screen. Nothing happened. No message, no notification. You put it down. 30 seconds later, you pick it up again. This isn't a willpower problem. It isn't even really about your phone. The real answer is far stranger. It starts almost 2 million years ago, on a dry stretch of grassland with an animal that had no claws, no fangs, and no fur thick enough to survive a cold night alone. That animal was you. Or rather, your ancestor. Picture the savanna, tall grass, a silence that isn't really silence. Every rustle could be wind, or it could be a predator. Your ancestor's brain didn't have the luxury of waiting to find out. Waiting was expensive. Waiting could be fatal. So the brain evolved a system that would rather be wrong 100 times than miss the one moment that mattered. Researchers call this negativity bias, and psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades studying exactly why the human brain reacts faster and stronger to potential threats than to good news. In his research, the brain's electrical response to a negative image was measurably larger than its response to a positive one, even when both images were equally intense. Bad news simply weighs more. It always has. Now think about your phone again. Every buzz, every red dot, every unread number is a rustle in the grass. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a line in the bushes and a text message you haven't opened. Both trigger the same ancient circuitry. Both say, check this now, or something bad might happen. But there's a second ingredient, and it's even older than fear. Your ancestors didn't survive by avoiding danger alone. They survived by finding things. Water, fruit, prey, and the environment they searched in was unpredictable. Sometimes a berry bush was empty. Sometimes it was overflowing. There was no way to know in advance. So the brain developed a reward system that didn't just respond to getting something good. It responded to the chance of getting something good. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran an experiment with pigeons and a lever. Some pigeons got a food pellet every single time they pressed the lever. Others got a pellet only some of the time, on no fixed schedule at all. Which pigeons pressed the lever more? Not the ones with the guaranteed reward, the ones with the random one. They pressed it obsessively, compulsively, far more than the reward alone could explain. Skinner called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it turned out to be one of the most powerful behavior patterns ever discovered. Your phone runs on that exact same schedule. You don't know if the next refresh will bring something interesting or nothing at all. That uncertainty isn't a flaw in the design, it is the design. It's the same uncertainty that once sent your ancestors back to the same bush day after day, just in case. Here's where it gets stranger. Your brain doesn't release its reward chemical, dopamine, when you get the good thing. It releases dopamine when you anticipate the good thing. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz discovered this while studying the brains of monkeys waiting for a reward. The dopamine spike happened before the reward arrived, in the moment of expectation itself. If the reward never came, the dopamine dropped. But if the reward was uncertain, if there was only a chance of it, the dopamine spike was even bigger and lasted even longer than when the reward was guaranteed. So the moment right before you unlock your phone, that half second of not knowing, is doing more to your brain than whatever is actually waiting on the other side. Think about that. The checking is the reward, not the message. Your ancestors lived in small bands, maybe 50 people, everyone known, everyone accounted for. Social information mattered enormously to survival. Who was angry with whom? Who might share food? Who might turn against the group? Missing that information could mean exile, and exile on the savannah usually meant death. So the brain built another circuit, one tuned specifically to social monitoring. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has argued that this social tracking, not tool use, may be the real reason human brains grew as large as they did. Now scale that 50-person band up to the hundreds of people in your contacts, your feeds, your group chats. The circuit built for tracking 50 relationships is now trying to track thousands. It cannot rest. It was never built to rest. Put these three things together, A threat detector that fires at every red notification dot. A reward system tuned to uncertainty rather than certainty. A social tracker straining to monitor a group 40 times larger than it evolved for. None of these systems know what a smartphone is. They only know the patterns they were built to respond to, and your phone happens to trigger every single one of them, dozens of times a day by design. This is the part that usually gets missed. The people who build these apps are not guessing. Former engineers from major tech companies have described building interfaces specifically around these same psychological principles, borrowing directly from slot machine design and behavioral conditioning research. The pull to refresh gesture, the infinite scroll, the unpredictable timing of likes and replies. These weren't accidents. They were built on the same discoveries Skinner made with his pigeons, just aimed at a species that thinks it's too smart to fall for it. But you're not falling for a trick built yesterday. You're responding to a survival strategy that kept your ancestors alive for nearly 2 million years. The grassland is gone. The lions are gone. The berry bushes are gone. But the wiring stayed exactly the same, because 2 million years is nothing in evolutionary time, and evolution never got the memo that the world had changed. So the next time you catch yourself reaching for your phone with no reason at all, no notification, no message waiting, remember what's actually happening underneath it. That isn't weakness. That's an ancient brain doing exactly what it was built to do, scanning for threats, chasing the possibility of reward, checking on the tribe. The tools have changed. The tribe has changed. The reward has changed into something that fits in your pocket and never runs out. But the animal reaching for it is still the same one that once stood very still in tall grass, listening for a sound that might mean danger or might mean nothing at all, and checking anyway, because for 2 million years, checking anyway is what kept it alive. Tonight, when you feel your hand moving toward your phone before your mind has caught up, you won't be dealing with a bad habit. You'll be watching 2 million years of survival instinct try to protect you from a world that no longer needs protecting.